what factors should I think about when I'm downsizing or considering downsizing?
Yeah, I guess I could put that because downsizing is a word meaning I'm going from bigger to smaller, which could be local. It could be, someplace outside of the locality that you're in now. Um, I've actually not very commonly seen, at least in our area, local downsizing. So I've got a 3,000 square foot house. I'm moving into a condo or whatever, and I'm going to have this differential between, that, um, you know, price I'd get for my 3,000 square foot house versus this condo. And so mostly what I see is people moving out of the area, just because again, they can get, if they get something smaller or even the same size, it's often cheaper. And then they're capturing that difference. And that's why we have so many clients all over the country, because they've moved from here and captured their home and moved, someplace else a lot cheaper. Sell something here, in San Jose for $1.5 million, buy something in Arizona for 400,000. So get to keep the difference, so to speak, after taxes and other costs. But so really, it is important. You can look at all kinds of different things. There's a bunch of aspects that I would look at. One is tax and total cost. So there's lots of different taxes. Like Texas doesn't have, for example, um, um, a state tax, but pretty high property tax. So got to look at the whole thing, try to figure that out, and we can model that inside of our financial planning program, which I think is kind of neat. And so looking at the overall ramifications in terms of financial. It's going to cost this much to move, this much to add to the new home. Here's what we're getting from the other home. Here's the taxes, the real estate cost, agent cost, those types of things, and we can model that. And oftentimes, when I've done that here, it's a positive. People have better success ratios because again, homes are so expensive here versus where they're going. But we do need to look at a lot of other things. I highly recommend people look very, very strongly at the medical in that arena, wherever it is that they're going. Because if they end up, oftentimes these are older people. They end up, in a place that doesn't have good medical, and they end up with a situation that needs that. There's all kinds of problems. I've seen a lot of people move up into the foothills of the Sierras here, where the medical is not that great, and then they end up with cancer or some other issue, and they're running down to Sacramento or whatever it is. So you might be better off, really going to a place that has great medical as far as that goes. There's all kinds of lifestyle issues that deal with, what's the weather like? What weather do you like? Is it a college town? Do you want to do some of that? Is that important to you? All of those aspects. We generally end up, kind of dealing with the financial aspects of looking at different things as far as that goes. So um, I think those are some of the key pieces that I can think of that, are out there for that aspect. Uh, Again, I've had a lot of clients do it, and they've been pretty happy. I get to talk to them every 6 months and ask them how it's going, what they like about it, and what have you. And I haven't heard anybody have a really bad time where they ended up, other than that medical situation. I've had people that had to move back because of medical situations, but we have great medical here. UCSF, Stanford, etc., is fantastic. So sometimes you can't get that in other places.